So, good evening. My name is Sandy, and I am with the Giff Group at Preferred Real Estate Brokers. So, I'm going to invite you to share this with a friend if you think what we're about to start doing is going to be beneficial to you guys. Again, my name is Sandy Sills. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Central Florida area. Today, I would like to discuss things to consider when buying a home. We have a full guide here. It comes out every quarter. So each quarter it's updated. Last on Thursday we were doing one on sellers, and today we're going to do one on buyers. Now, I don't like the video to be too lengthy, so if it gets too lengthy, I'm going to cut it short. And what you could do, you could request a free copy of this home buyers guide. You could request it either by commenting below or by giving us a call, 407-791-4713. You could call or text us for a copy of it. Or you could go to Central Florida Real Estate.info, and we will have the full topic there, the full guide there. So our topic today is going to be why you shouldn't wait until spring to buy a home, although we're almost into spring, right? A new meaning for home ownership, the expert winter housing market forecast. Home price appreciation is on the rise, and I know I say winter, and people are like, "What are you talking about? We're in Florida." But we actually had a winter this season. Wouldn't you guys agree? We had so many cold days in Orlando. I was wondering if I was back in New York, right? We're going to be going over key terms to know in the home buying process, the path to home ownership, steps to take if you want to buy a home, how down payment assistance opens the door to home ownership, 5 tips for making a successful offer, things to avoid after applying for a mortgage, and reasons to hire a real estate professional. We always do that one last. So let's kind of get into it. We all know that home ownership is a dream that a lot of people have. And since we all know everyone has to live somewhere, either you're going to end up paying a mortgage or owning a home free and clear, or you're going to be paying rent. But you're going to be paying something to somebody in order for you to live. Unless, of course, you found somewhere where you could live for free. And if you do find that, please let me know, because I want to be in on that, right? So this is our winter guide. And the first thing is why you shouldn't wait until spring to buy a home. A lot of people think the spring market is the best time to buy. Because of COVID, this might be changing though, because now that people can do a lot of things virtually, including virtual schooling, we may not have this situation where you're trying to buy a home to make sure you move in for the next school year, or you don't want to necessarily disrupt the kids during their school year. So you start looking in the springtime, so you'll close by June or July. So in the summer months, you'll be able to move to this new home so your children could start a new school in September or August. For us here in Florida, it would be in August. But that might be changing because of all the virtual stuff that's going on right now. So the housing market recovery has been nothing short of remarkable. I mean, we're in a crazy market right now. Many experts agree the turnaround from the nation's economic pause is playing out extremely well for real estate. So it's framing up to be an ideal time to buy a home for those who are ready to make a purchase. So let's dive into why. Well, first of all, interest rates are at an all-time low. Now, we don't know how long it's going to stay there. Let's hope it stays there for a while, because the economy needs to bounce back, right? So in 2020, mortgage rates hit all-time lows more than a dozen times, falling below 3% for the first time ever. And this is indeed a fact, because I've had closings where my buyers were paying 2.25% in interest rate for 30 years. You know how low that mortgage is? That is crazy. So given this means homes could cost potentially tens of thousands less over the lifetime of the loan, right? So if you have a 2.25% mortgage rate, you'll actually be paying less over the course of 30 years than if it was higher, right? So that makes buying more affordable, and that gives you the ability to buy more home for the same price, right? So in other words, since it's 2.25% or below 3% or even at 4%, your monthly rate will be lower. So when your monthly rate is lower, that means you could buy a higher price home and still pay a low monthly payment. That's kind of what that means. That's why that's so big and so important. So buying is more affordable than renting because the interest rates are so low. So if you're paying like $2,000 or more per, or let's say $1,800 or more per month for rent, and you're thinking you can't buy, with $1,800 a month, you might be able to afford a home between 280 to 300,000. Now, I'm not a lender, so I'm just going by examples that I've seen as I work through the process of my buyers buying home. So you might be surprised to realize that you might be able to buy a home and pay less than what you're paying now for your rent. Isn't that crazy? Now, because the market is booming the way it is, we have increased equity, right? So that means the market is crazy. People are buying. If they're higher demand, then we're going to have less in supply. So the supply is the homes, right? So if we have less homes to sell, but more buyers looking to buy, that's going to push your equity up. And even more so if you're buying new construction, because in new construction, if they're building a brand new construction development, and you are you came in the beginning or maybe in the middle of them building, as they continue to build it out, the home prices are also going to go more higher and higher, because the more they build, the more they're going to increase the price, right? So equity is definitely growing. So guess what? Why would you want to pay your landlord rent when you're not going to build any equity, when you could possibly buy a home, even if it's a smaller home? And people kill me with this one. They really do. And I apologize. I don't mean to offend anyone. But I've heard people say, well, I'm paying $2,000 a month for rent now, and I have a big apartment or a big home that I'm renting. I could buy, but if I buy, I'm going to get a smaller home. And I don't know if I want to have a smaller home. And I've often said, wouldn't it be better for you to buy a smaller home, paying mortgage and building equity in this home, which you could turn around and sell in 3 to 5 years and buy the home you really want to buy? Because if you stay in this bigger home and keep paying your landlord rent, you're not going to build anything at all. There's no equity being built. You're just going to keep paying the landlord rent, and the landlord will be happy because you are helping them pay their mortgage and you're helping them build their equity. Meanwhile, you have none, right? So it's not a bad idea to buy a home, even if it's going to be a smaller home, even if it's going to be a townhome and you really want a home, even if it's going to be a condo and you really want a townhome. When you purchase real estate, you live there, you pay the regular mortgage, which would be the same money you're paying for rent anyway, if probably even less because of the low interest rate. And then you, after 3 to 5 years, to buy what you want. And that's how people normally scale up. So sometimes when you see someone in a really big home and you're like, oh man, I wish I could afford that home, or I wish I could afford what they're buying, they may have had 2 or 3 homes or maybe a home before they're buying this home. And the equity from the first home is what's giving them the income to buy the other home. Okay, so that's really important. Now, home prices are also appreciated. Okay, so obviously home prices have got to appreciate in order for you to build equity. So homes are getting more and more expensive. So you don't want to get priced out of the market. So you may want to pay attention to that as well, right? So what's the bottom line? If you're considering buying a home, this may be your moment, especially with today's low mortgage rates. Let's connect to assess your changing needs and set up for success in the home buying process. So let's connect. Give me a call. Let's discuss this. I normally do a lot of Zoom calls with my buyers, whether you're out of state, in state, or out of the country, or out of the US for that matter. I so love Zoom because Zoom now gives us the opportunity so we could do these live virtual tours and virtual phone calls. And not only that, we could actually go over things on the screen. We could be looking at the same screen at the same time, right? So because of all these situations that we have going on, we have low interest rate. We have a high demand in the housing market right now. We have that you could buy more home for your money, right? So it brings a new meaning for home ownership. Today, Americans are purchasing home for a variety of different reasons. The current health crisis has truly reshaped our lifestyles and needs, prompting many of us to think more about what we truly want in a home. Spending extra time where we currently live is enabling many people to reevaluate what home ownership means and what they find most important in a home. According to Zillow, in 2020, homes went from the place people return to after work, schooling, hitting the gym, or vacationing, to the place where families do all of the above. For those who now spend the majority of their time at home, there's a growing wish list of what they'll change about their home if possible. So what I'm finding as well, guys, is a lot of people are now selling their smaller home or their townhome or their condo, and now they want to get a bigger home. That's why there's such a boom in building right now. A lot of homeowners are trading up from a smaller home to a bigger home because now the kids are home more. Now they have to find space for virtual schooling, and they also have to find space to work from home, right? So if we're working from home and our kids are virtual schooling and hybrid schooling, then we need more space, right? We need everybody need their own section to, mom and dad need to work from home. They need to be quiet, and the children need to do their own virtual and hybrid schooling. So that's what's also causing people to want a bigger home. So maybe you're even renting an apartment and you're thinking, well, I'm renting an apartment. Maybe it's time for me to move to a bigger home. Let's see what I can afford. Or I have a townhome, but it would be great if we had a bigger home where we could have more space in the backyard. Whatever the situation is, guess what? Guess what I'm finding? A lot of times when people are calling and looking for somewhere to rent or to move or whatever, a lot of times they're like, do you have any 4, 5, or 6 bedrooms? And then when I ask how many people are in your family, guess what? Only maybe 2 or 3 people. And I'm like, well, why do they want such a big space? And then they tell me they need the extra bedrooms for either a virtual office or a virtual classroom for their kids, or get this, a home gym. People are also looking for room for a home gym because nobody wants to go to the gym, or you can't go to the gym as you want to because there's so much restrictions, and you might not want to touch the machine somebody else just touched, and people forget to wipe the machines down, and all kind of craziness happen even without COVID, right? So a home gym is an important thing nowadays. How about outdoor space? People want to be out more. They're trapped home and they got to spend more time at home. So now they want to be able to go outside and do something. And a lot of times in the townhome situation or the condo, sometimes they close the clubhouse down. So now people are like, wait, maybe I should move from my townhouse to a house, right? So I could have more space outdoors. I could have a bigger backyard. I could have a patio area. So those are the things that's going on. So moving may be your best option because where you are might not be able to support all the stuff you want to do. You want a room for office, you want a virtual schooling room, you want a little gym area. So sometimes you might need to look into, okay, what can I afford to buy? And the answer might very well surprise you guys. It very might will. Okay, so what is the winter housing market forecast? What are people saying? What's going on? Based on recent data on the economy, unemployment, real estate, and more, many experts are indicating that an economic recovery is underway. The extent of the recovery, however, is largely dependent on the course of the virus. Here's a look at what some experts have to say about key areas that will power the housing market and the economy going forward. John Burns, a high quality home has never been so important because people are spending much time in the home. New home supply will ramp up beginning next year, which is 2021, as the home builders have only increased land buying activity very recently, and it takes a while to get building approvals. Guess what's also going on in the new construction field? A lot of builders have stopped selling lots, guys, because building supplies are harder to get because of COVID. There's a short supply of building supplies, appliances, and even the workforce, even the workforce to build and that kind of thing. So with new construction, they're building are coming out slower because of the shortage of materials and appliances and shortage of labor as well. So that's one thing to consider. Here is core logic. They're saying, given the continued economic uncertainty and lack of activity among existing homeowners, which means repeat buyers, we anticipate the inventory shortage to persist throughout the rest of the year, with inventory levels remaining at 20 to 30% below last year's level. Okay, that's huge. That's big. So if you want this full report, as I'm going through it, I don't think I'm going to be able to go through the entire thing. I'm going to invite you to go to Central Florida Real Estate.info to request a copy, or you could do so by commenting below that you would want us to send you a copy, or send us an email at giffgroupsellshomes@gmail.com. And remember, we're on every Tuesday at 7. We're on doing our buyers thing, talking all about stuff about buying a home. And if you like this information, please do share it with your friends. Give us a thumbs up if you're liking what we're sharing. If you want us to do a certain topic, just put it in the comment section and we will definitely cover that for you. Okay. Home price appreciation is on the rise. Okay. Which is true. And these are all the big companies like Zillow, Zelman, Freddie Mac, NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors. CoreLogic is a company that governs our MLS system. They are saying that home prices are going up on the rise, guys. And let me tell you a little thing about real estate, okay? Because people are like, yeah, it's going to rise and it's going to fall. Guess what? When you own real estate, it's not like the stock market. It is not like the stock market. So when you own real estate, even if the market slump, all you got to do is wait it out and it will come right back, right? I'm pretty sure if you were to find a homeowner now that has owned their home for say 15 or more years, they could tell you different cycles that their home has been through. It's been through the increase in price, and real estate don't normally fall too low, but if it is falling, it will fall, but it will come right back up. It will. And this is what I've always said. Worst case scenario, you rent the property out and you're still making income while you wait for the appreciation to start back. So it is never a bad idea to buy a home. I've had buyers tell me they don't want to buy a home because they can't phantom owe in the bank that much money, and they don't know if they'll ever pay the mortgage off. The fact of the matter is very few people pay their mortgage off. Very few people. What do people do? They buy a home, they live in it for 3 to 5 years, they sell that home, then they buy another home, live in that for 3 to 5 years, they sell that home. So not many people pay off their mortgages. And the thing is too, regarding mortgages, um, so people have life insurance. So if they die and there's a mortgage on the property, the life insurance pays it off. So I mean, it's just a win-win all the way around for this, right? Due to the undersupply of homes on the market today, there's a significant upward pressure on home prices. When there's high demand for an item and a low supply of it, consumers are willing to pay more for that item. That's what's happening in today's real estate market. The housing supply shortage is also resulting in more bidding wars, which drive price points higher in the home sale process, right? And remember now, this is not back in 2005, 2006, where the bank was giving everybody a loan and too many people were buying houses and all this craziness. The people who own homes now actually got approved for the mortgage the correct way, right? There's no subprime mortgage on the market right now. So it's not going to be a big slum of what people are thinking. This is going to continue. This is either going to continue to rise or it's going to level off at some point in time, right? What does a rise in price mean for buyers? When purchasing a home, it's important to feel confident about your investment and that it will increase in value over time. Home prices have been rising for 104 straight months and are forecasted to continue to go up, meaning your investment is a sound one. It also means purchasing a home before prices continue to climb might be your best move. Today, some are concerned that homeowners who entered a mortgage forbearance plan might face foreclosure once their plan ends. However, when you analyze the data on those in forbearance, it's clear the actual level of risk is quite low. A lot of banks are still waiting with homeowners on their mortgage forbearance plan. If it's government owned, which means if the mortgage is owned by Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA, any of those mortgage programs, the lenders are adding the mortgage to the arrears in the mortgage to the back of the loan, and they continue to pay. If they're not in that kind of mortgage plan, then they're working on a payment plan where, let's say they're 6 months behind, whatever that figure is, they'll divide it out over a few years and they pay this amount per month with their regular mortgage payment to clear the balance. So there's the banks. This is not back in '08 and '09 when the banks didn't even want to hear from homeowners. Back in 2008 and 2009, if you call the bank, they didn't even want to talk to you. Now, guess what? The bank is calling you saying, do you need help? How can we help you? What can we work out for you? That's really what's going on. And I'm pretty sure some people could comment and agree with me if anyone knows, if you have a home now that you're looking to sell and then buy something else, or if you know anyone in the forbearance program, there's more help now than there ever was back in 2008 and 2009 when subprime was at an eye and foreclosures were all over the place. This is not the market we're in. You have to remember that the market was already strong before COVID hit. We weren't in a low market and then COVID hit, right? We were in a very strong market when COVID hit. So all we're doing now is recovering from that, right? So what's the bottom line, guys? Originally, many thought home prices would depreciate due to the economic slowdown from the health crisis. Instead, price appreciated substantially over the next year. Home values are likely rising even higher given the continued lack of homes for sale. So here are some key terms that we should keep in mind. An appraisal. What is an appraisal? A professional analysis used to estimate the value of a home. So the bank is going to get an appraisal done when you're looking to buy if you're financing. What is a mortgage rate? Mortgage rate is the interest rate you're going to be paying on the mortgage. The lower your mortgage rate, the lower your monthly payment, right? So you definitely want to have a low mortgage rate. And for the most part, you want to have a fixed mortgage rate. That way the mortgage rate doesn't fluctuate the longer you own the home. What's the closing cost? Closing cost is a closing cost is really the cost of buying the home. A lot of your closing costs is going to have to do with the bank financing. So if you're getting a mortgage, the bulk of your closing cost is going to be what the bank is charging you to close on the home. Some of the harder things that you might be in your closing costs would be the property taxes, right? Because the bank wants you to pay so much money up front on the taxes, so that if they when they escrow the taxes, you will have enough money to purchase they will have enough money to pay for your taxes. So let me explain that. Whenever you buy a property, it's going to come with property taxes. Let's say the property taxes is $5,000 a year, right? The bank is going to divide that $5,000 into 12 equal payments, and they're going to put that amount on your mortgage payment each month, so that at the end of the year, they have enough money to pay your property taxes for you. Most of the time when you get a mortgage, the bank will choose to pay your property taxes. They're not going to allow you to do that. That's going to be a part of your mortgage payment, right? So let's say the taxes are $5,000 per month, but you're closing in June, and the taxes are due in December. The bank would not have enough time for you to make 12 monthly payments to pay the taxes at the end of the year. So if you're closing in June, the bank is going to want you to pay 6 months up front, right? And then the other 6 months will be paid monthly during the next 6 months mortgage payment. So at the end of the year, they could pay your property tax. So that will be a part of your closing costs. Another part of your closing costs is going to be your insurance. You're going to need title insurance. What's title insurance? Title insurance insures the title of the property, which means when you buy the home, no one could come and say, you don't really own this home. I own the home because I have title, right? Just like when you have a vehicle title, when you own a car, you have a car title, and that means you own the property. When you own a home, you have a house title, and you have to insure it. So that's going to be a part of your closing costs. Prepaids or escrowed is what I just explained with the property taxes. Also, the bank is going to want you to pay 1 full year of homeowners insurance to make sure the property is insured for a full year. That's going to be a part of your closing costs. Once you close on the property, the bank is going to divide. Let's say you paid $1,000. Let's say you paid $600 for your property insurance. The bank is going to divide the 600 by 12, and you're going to be paying that monthly payment as part of your mortgage payment. So your property taxes and your property insurance will be paid monthly as part of your mortgage payment, along with your principal and interest. That's what's going to make up your mortgage payment each month. So the bank is going to have money to pay your insurance and also your property taxes. What's a pre-approval letter? Pre-approval letter is what you need to get to qualify for a mortgage. So if you're looking to buy a home, the first thing you want to do is speak to a lender and have that lender approve you for a loan, so you know how much money you can afford to spend on a home, and more importantly, what's going to be your monthly payment. So the lender will go over all that stuff with you, so when you're ready to buy a home, you know exactly what you will be spending. Real estate professional, that'll be me. So you always want to work with a real estate professional to get the best deal on a home, whether it's a new home or a resale property. The real estate professional is going to be working in your own interest and help you with paperwork and negotiation and all that kind of stuff, help you to find homes. Real estate agents will be able to find you homes that are not on the market. They're able to go to homeowners who are possibly thinking of selling, but they don't want to sell. They don't want a lot of people going in and out of their homes. So they will they'll tell a real estate agent, if you find me a buyer, I'll sell, but I don't want my property in the market. So the real estate agent will find you that. Real estate agent will also know of all the new constructions in the area, the ones that are to be built, the ones that are already built. And a lot of times real estate agents will get you a better deal with the builders than you will get on your own, right? Because if a real estate agent is used to bringing buyers to the builder, they're going to want the agent to bring more and more buyers to them. So they're going to give them more and more incentives that they could offer to the buyers, so the buyers would want to buy the property, right? A credit score, I think we all know what this is. This is a big deal that determines how much home you can afford, or if you really can afford a home, right? And the down payment is what you would put down to purchase the property. So once you're approved for a mortgage, the approval is going to say you could afford to buy a home, but you need to put 3% down to 20% down to whatever you need to put down. Or they also have down payment assistance programs as well. If you're a VA, if you're a vet, and you're in the military, you'll be able to buy a home through a VA loan with no money down, right? So that's what some of these terms are. Again, if you want a copy of this, you could request it, and we will send it out to you. So I'm going to finish up with the path to home ownership, guys, because I'm not going to make it through this, and I don't want to keep this video too long. So let's talk about the path to home ownership. First, you need to save for your down payment, right? You got to be on a good budget and you save for your down payment. Then you want to keep track of your credit score. Karma.com is one way you could keep track, even though it's not 100% accurate, but at least it will start to give you a clue as you get ready to buy a home. Most people start preparing to buy a home maybe 1 or 2 years out. So you want to start saving for your down payment. You want to definitely keep track of your credit score. You want to find a real estate agent. Now, here's the thing. Don't go find a real estate agent when you're ready to buy a home. That is not the time to find a real estate agent. You want to find a real estate agent when you're thinking about buying a home, because a real estate agent will be able to guide you to through the process, and also what to look for, what to do with your credit score, and how to prepare to purchase a home, right? A real estate agent will help you prepare to purchase a home. So you always want to have a real estate agent before, and a good realtor knows that most of the time when people contact them, they are just beginning. They're in the beginning stages. So the false thing that people think is, well, if I contact a real estate agent, they're going to think I want to buy a home immediately. Because a lot of times when people contact me and I call them out, they're like, oh, I'm not ready. And I'm like, I know you're not ready. That's why I'm contacting you to see how we could help you to get ready, to purchase a home. So not all realtors are expecting you to purchase the home tomorrow or next week or even next month. We know that it takes time to prepare to purchase a home. It's a big deal. It's one of the biggest financial investment you'll ever make. It's beyond the student loan. It's beyond buying a car. It's like a huge investment. And we know that. And we know you need time to prepare for that. So when you contact us, we're not expecting you to be buying a home immediately, right? The next thing is you want to get pre-approved. So as you get closer to wanting to buy the home, you want to get to a lender to see what you can afford, right? For sure. Then comes time to finding a home. We find a home, we ask you all the details of what you're looking for. If we can't find it on the open market, we're going to do off-market properties, which means we're going to start. If you came to us and said, I like the subdivision here in Corona Beach. I'm just making this up. I have no idea if there's a Corona Beach. I like the subdivision in Corona Beach. I'd love to buy a home in Corona Beach, right? If you came and you told us that, what we're going to do, we're going to contact the homeowners. If there's no home for sale in Corona Beach, or if the homes in Corona Beach are for sale, but it doesn't meet what you're looking for, we'll contact the homeowners for you as a realtor and say, listen, we have a buyer, pre-approved, looking to buy a home in your subdivision, or are you thinking of selling? And that's what we call our Dream Home Finder program that we work with, right? Once we find a home, we're going to make an offer for you. Once the offer is accepted, we're going to do a home inspection to make sure the home is going to pass home inspection. Once the home inspection is done, the bank is going to order an appraisal to make sure that the property is worth what they're selling it for. And then we're going to go through a bunch of paperwork, and then we're going to get to the closing table, right? And after we close, you get your keys, and voila, you are a homeowner, right? So I'm going to stop it here. There's a few more things to go through, but I'm not going to do that because this video is getting too lengthy. Feel free to share this post with any of your friends that might benefit from this. Do contact us if you want to get a copy of this report. You could go to centralfloridarealestate.info. You could leave a comment below and say, I want a copy of this report. This report, we update it every 3 months. So our next report will be in April. So if you get this report, it will be good for April. If you want us to mail a report every time we get a new one, we could also do so because we update it for every quarter. So we do 4 of these reports. We do 4 of these reports per year, and we keep updating them. So I so appreciate you guys listening. Our goal is to educate the public on real estate, what to look for, what not to look for, what to look for when buying a home, that kind of thing. We have quite a few slides left here, but as I said, I might pick this up next week with steps to take if you want to buy a home. Thanks so much, guys. We appreciate you. We will see you next week. Alrighty then. Bye now.